Auburn has a total of 17 commitments, so there's still some spots to fill as we kind of get closer to the 2024 signing day. There were a few major developments over the weekend that we'll cover, and I'm going to find out which recruit could be the next to commit to Auburn. So Auburn fans, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We just crossed over 20K. Really happy to be here. We want you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe. Okay, let's get it going and bring on Cole Pinkston from Auburn Live. Before we find out who Auburn's next commitment could be, I want to talk about something that happened over the weekend, and that was the visit of Ryan Montgomery. He's a 2025 quarterback, and as we know, we are in 2025 QB season time right now. This is when guys are coming off the board. So Ryan Montgomery out of Findlay, Ohio, top 20 arm. Where does he stand on Auburn's board?
I think he's pretty high. There's a couple guys that are pretty high on that board, but he's up there, top 2 or 3, maybe 4. But the good news, if you're Auburn, is he's very interested and talked to us and had all great things to say, and he's going to come back. So this is a guy that we are starting to track more now that he's visited, and we know there's interest on both sides. So I don't know the final decision on who their quarterback might be yet, but he's in there for sure.
Yeah, and Ryan Montgomery is out and about all over the country taking visits. I know he's been to South Carolina. Florida is a top school for him, and now it looks like Auburn is also heavily involved now. Who else is up there on that QB board? Who are they targeting right now for 2025?
I think the big fish is probably George McIntyre, who is probably the top-rated quarterback for On3. One of the top 3. And then you have KJ Lacey, who is committed to Texas right now. That's the guy that they love a lot. He's at from Mobile, Alabama, that area, and of course his teammate is 5-star receiver Ryan Williams, who's committed to Alabama, who was a huge Auburn target. So I think Lacey's really high on the list. George McIntyre is a guy they're going to continue to recruit, and then Ryan Montgomery. Those are really the 3 that we see as the top guys for Auburn.
Yeah.
Right now.
All right, well, we'll see. I think Ryan Montgomery will certainly be a name that Auburn fans want to remember. His recruitment far from over, but he did tell us on this show that he's going to probably make a decision in about February. So we're a few months away from him making his final decision. All right, want to talk a little Auburn offensive line recruiting because we know how important that is. Favor Edwin, 6'8", 290, trending heavily toward Auburn on the recruiting prediction machine at 97%. And he's out of the state of Georgia. How we looking here? Is this one that Auburn can close on fairly quickly?
So Favor Edwin has an official visit set up for Clemson as well. But he told us when he visited Auburn for the Georgia game, hey, I'm going to take the month of October off. I'm going to, keep it quiet. Don't want to make any visits. And then he pops right back up at Auburn the next week. So I think he's really, really high on Auburn, and the same, Auburn is high on him. So I really believe that one is a matter of time for Auburn. He still may take the official visit to Clemson, but I think Auburn's in great shape with him.
All right, and then another one that I feel like Auburn's been in good shape for in the state of Georgia as well is Khalil House. Now, he's committed to Stanford, 6'4", 300 pounds. I felt like this was one that Auburn could flip during the season. How are things going right now? Do you still feel that he ends up at Auburn?
Yeah, and really the only reason I think he didn't make it to the last Auburn home games because he had a game on Saturday that kept him from going. So, I mean, he's told me he was probably going to be back whenever he gets a chance. It just kind of seems like Auburn's in the driver's seat and has been even when he committed to Stanford. They made a huge move with him on his official visit to Auburn, and he chose Stanford. And we knew, you better stay on top of this guy because Auburn loves him and he loves Auburn too.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to be able to double back there. It also seems like junior college has been an option to Hugh Freeze. Have you seen some action going on at that level?
Yeah, a new offer went out last night. They've had 3 or 4 offers to JUCO offensive linemen throughout the year, off and on there. I think they're really looking just to see if they can get 1 or 2 more guys with some experience before they go to portal season and say, they've built almost the entire offensive line out of the portal last season for this year. And I don't know if they want to do that again. They want to see if they can get some more high school talent, as they have a freshman starting at center right now. So, they're looking in that into the JUCO ranks a little bit.
Yeah, the Auburn will most likely build at all three levels, the high school level, the JUCO level, and then also the transfer portal level as well when the season ends. Now, we're talking about Auburn acquiring, but they're also got to play a little defense because Texas is trying to flip two of Auburn's valued trench targets, and that is commitments TJ Lindsey on the defensive line, and on the offensive line, DeAndre Carter. Who should Auburn fans be more concerned over when it comes to the Longhorns trying to flip their commitments?
I'm going to stay with DeAndre Carter, who we've talked about when we played flip or stick. I actually said he would flip from Auburn. I think things have been positive for Auburn since then, but man, it's going to be tight. I mean, Texas is really working on him. We know he likes Texas a lot. His family likes Texas, but Auburn made a huge impression on him too. So it's really close, and I'm more concerned about him than TJ Lindsey right now. TJ Lindsey chose Auburn over Texas when he committed, and I know they're still recruiting him, and that is something we have to monitor. But I like, after talking to TJ Lindsey when he was at the Auburn game 2 weeks ago, I really feel like he's pretty much locked in, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and with DeAndre Carter, it seems like every couple weeks we start hearing the rumors again that a potential flip, but he has remained committed to Auburn, so that's a good sign, at least for now. Okay, we'll get to it. Who could be the next recruit to commit to the Auburn Tigers? We want to know, Cole. Who could it be?
Well, speaking of JUCO safety, who was actually an Under Armour All-American out of high school, 4-star guy, Laquan Robinson, is one that we're watching closely now. He had an announcement set. He's had to change that date a little bit, but, I mean, we think he's Auburn's to lose. He's from Greenville, Alabama, so that's a guy that we think could be next. Also, I mean, there's a lot of 2025 guys that Auburn's making a move for. Do they get a quarterback soon, like Ryan Montgomery?
Yeah.
They've had Jaden Perlotti, a Georgia commit, on campus the last 3 home games. So, look, there's some guys we're watching really closely, and some of these 25 guys just come out of nowhere at times. Kendarius Reddick, who committed to Auburn a few weeks ago, we heard very little that he was thinking about committing. So I'd say watch 2025 guys, Laquan Robinson, Favor Edwin, like we talked about, Khalil House. Those 2 guys can make a move at any time. That seems to be the list right now that we're on alert for.
All right, well, there you go. Auburn currently at 17 commitments, but that 17 could turn to 20 real quick. Cole Pinkston from Auburn Live, thank you for dropping by today on the Inside Scoop.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.